All right guys, TJ here with Dynojet to welcome you to another exciting product launch where we're gonna announce the PowerVision 3 for Honda off-road motorcycles. This includes all your 450R guys, your 250R guys, the 450L dual sport or street riders are all gonna be supported with our new PowerVision 3. First install on these for the race bikes, the diagnostic port is found behind the left shroud. So there might be a little capturing connector up here. You can just pop it out. Then that's your diagnostic port location. Depending on the year of your bike, you're going to also need to find your battery. Something different from other installations where we haven't needed to connect to the battery. The Hondas are a little different in this case. So once you find your diagnostic port, find your battery, pop the cover off, and then we're gonna access actually the positive terminal on the battery. You're actually gonna loosen the little screw on the positive terminal. You'll take our diagnostic cable, and it is covered by a rubber sleeve to make sure that this doesn't ground out anywhere. Slide this right under the screw and tighten it back down. This is purely to ensure a positive connection as you're going through the flash process on these race bikes. You can then take the other side and connect it to the diagnostic port. You will hear the fuel pump prime in this case. When this is connected, this is hot. So you heard the fuel pump prime. The PowerVision 3 is of course on. You will wanna disconnect this, slide the rubber sleeving back over, because even if it's not connected to the battery, if this terminal shorts to anywhere, if you were to doll this up under your seat and you're intending to mount this on your handlebars, it would short out and blow the operating fuse on these bikes. So make sure when you are gonna run this, if this is gonna be mounted on your bike, stow this properly and make sure it doesn't ground out to anything. It'll walk you through the tune wizard here, indicating that all required files are found. This indicates with a fresh out-of-the-box unit, we actually have all of our required files. We've got a couple that it identifies here. Our tune right here is just going to be a stock improved tune, and then also the stock file. Flashing of this stock file is just a stop replication of what's in the ECU already. We can go ahead, press this button. It'll show you some notes of what we may have done here. You know, we've got different timing, we've got different rev limit set. It's going to prompt you to pair, so we're going to pair to this vehicle now. It'll prompt you to delete any incompatible files. The PV3 is smart enough to know that, well, for this 2026 450R, it's not going to accept a file from a 2021 250. So in this case, if we hit delete here, it would delete all those other irrelevant files. But we can click no, so we can save them on our file system and then hit the flash. It's about 3 to 3.5 minutes. So we are doing this install on a 450R, so that's a race bike today. For you other guys with like an L, a 450L model that has a key up behind the number plate, those models you won't have to attach directly to the battery. Your diagnostic port also might be under the seat. So you would remove your seat, and then instead of connecting to your battery, you would just turn the key on and hit the flash, walk through the same process that we just did on the R, on the PV3, but again, you wouldn't be connecting directly to the battery on those bikes. Depending on the year of your 450L, you will hear the fan continue to run during the flash process. So it's not a bug, it's not an error, it's just while the ECU is in the rewrite state, it can't keep the fan off, so it just will run during that time. Might be a good idea to put your battery on a charger or a tender during that process, just to make sure it doesn't run your battery out. So while this file continues to write inside the ECU here on this 450R, let's go over some features and benefits that you would expect to see out of a PowerVision for your Honda CRF. First things first, we can cater the fueling and spark tables to give you the most performance out of your engine. So you're gonna see a little bit more horsepower, a little bit more torque, and that can be per gear on certain models. You can tame down some of the spark in low gears, or you can advance it in higher gears, depending on how you wanna ride, or even go down the road. For your 450L guys or those dual sport, maybe you need to lean out. Maybe in factory form it was too rich and you want to get a little bit of extra fuel range. You can do that all with the PowerVision 3.
Twitchy throttle?
Twitchy throttle. Well, the best way to fix a twitchy throttle is to, of course, fix your wrist so you're not doing this. But we have heard that some CRFs have a little bit of a twitch, you know, right off idle, and then even as you engage, it'll feel like it'll want to jerk out from under you. You can tame that down, not just for performance, but to get rid of that, that twitchiness. There's also some differences in hard parts between the CRFs that we've identified, that you can actually put a different cam that seems more aggressive in those L models, and that actually tames down the delivery as long as you pair it with the proper PowerVision 3 flash. So that's kind of the caveat there. You change hard parts, throw a tune in there, and you'll be golden and smooth out that delivery, or in the end, gain overall power, gain overall speed. We, of course, with the PowerVision 3 can alter your rev limit, and that can be per gear or per gear set as well. We can raise the rev limit on those. For the L riders where the fan is also a feature, we can change when that fan turns on or off. So now that we've completed our flash and we've power cycled the PowerVision 3, it'll come back in this screen where we can actually associate some channels. The PowerVision 3 is a real-time monitor. If this bike was running right now instead of powered by the battery, we could go ahead and set up RPM and set up manifold pressure, whatever gauges you might want. And that's done by accessing the device tools and configure gauges menu. We've got 4 independent screens, each that can be programmed with up to 4 channels. We could do one that is purely, well, let's check out coolant temperature in degrees Fahrenheit and then select your precision. And you could be done. Maybe you just want a big old engine temp gauge. So it's 68 degrees on this bike right now in the office here. If we wanted to add another one, we can go through all of those. We can add another gauge to that channel or channel to that gauge. And maybe we want engine speed. Cool. Times 1,000. Perfect. Now we have a split of a dual gauge. And you can go through all the channels on here if you're intending to mount this on your handlebars through one of our accessory mounts and have it on your bars as a real-time monitor. Also, benefit of the PowerVision 3 is you can data log while you ride. So it'll tell you that data logging has started. You'll see the red bar on the top of the screen. And then how long the log has been going. It also gives you a quick battery indicator in the upper right corner. So we're at 13 volts with this battery and we have a 14-second log so far. And we can press this to stop anytime. It'll tell you what the log file name was saved as, and then you can reference that for further tuning and dialing in later. Maybe you're trying to diagnose a bug in the tune. Maybe you're just wanting to see what your peak RPM was or where you spent most of your time on the throttle. Once you're done, again, this could go right in your toolbox. You wouldn't have to do anything with the device itself. You can unplug, disconnect this from the diagnostic port, and then, where necessary, undo this little split spade terminal and tighten your battery lug back down, and then you can replace your cover. So of course, setting up gauges on your PowerVision 3 for things like engine speed or throttle position and RPM might be important. Also important to note that the PowerVision 3 and this cable that you were just using is compatible with Dynojet Wideband devices. So you can, if you want to monitor on the road, those RPM and throttle position type of things, you can also weld a bung in your exhaust. Shout out to Yoshimura here for welding this bung inside this full exhaust system for us. And then once you install a sensor, you can install the wideband unit on the bike to be a full-time AFR monitor vehicle. Going down the road, you can capture and overlay that AFR data to further refine your tune. Whether you're on the road or on the track, whatever it might be, you can have full-time wideband data being logged on the PowerVision 3, also displayed on the PowerVision 3. Monitoring of that AFR data is very important for refining your tune to make sure the amount of fuel being delivered by the injector is exactly what is safe for the engine, performs properly, doesn't have any stumbles in it, and we get that through monitoring of the AFR data using a wideband sensor. On these race bikes, there isn't even a sensor in the exhaust. They don't come with a narrowband, don't come with a wideband, so the importance of adding that extra sensor is kind of the beauty and being able to integrate that with the PowerVision 3. Some bikes might come with a narrowband sensor, like your street legal vehicles. That narrowband sensor is active during closed loop time, or call it low loads, cruise RPM, where it can give you feedback on if you're rich or lean, just from 14.7, just from 14.7 AFR. Once you're out of closed loop, it doesn't report any data. It's not trying to trim the ECU in any way, to trim the fuel. So you really lose the ability to say, well, if I'm rich at high RPM and high load, the narrowband sensor can't deliver that data. The wideband sensor can. All right, guys, thank you for joining us for another exciting Dynojet product launch where we're supporting the CRF line of Hondas with the PowerVision 3. Check out our website at dynojet.com to see if this product fits your exact CRF. Check out any accessories or other products you might be interested in. For further information, check out Dynojet University to get more educated on our entire line of products. And until next time, stay tuned.